Assalamu alaikum, this is me Atisham and you're watching my YouTube channel RILS The Lingua Expert. I'm the expert trainer of IELTS, PTE, OET, IELTS Life Skills and other English language proficiency exams. Now this video is the sequence of the adverbial clause which we started previously, and I defined that I defined that here in adverbial clause we have certain subtypes that we will plan to study. So in this video we're going to study about the concept of time clause. Now what is time clause? Time clause is a clause which refers to the time interval of any action in a sentence. Basically, this is a subtype of adverbial clause which begins with a time word, and there are a number of time words that you are going to learn in this video that we use in order to structure the time clause. Now, some of the most common time subordinating conjunctions are when, whenever, while, since, as soon as long as, so long as, until, and you have once, and before, after, and too many other subordinating conjunctions that are used to refer to time interval of any actions. And remember, this particular type, which we call it time clause, it is one of the categories of adverbial clause. Now here I would like to tell you 2 points and that you have to keep in mind. Point number one is that these time clauses, they may come before the main clause or after the main clause. As in the previous video I described that the adverbial clause may come before or after the independent or main clause. And the second point, it's noteworthy where most of the students, they commit mistakes while speaking or writing, which you should not do it. So what is this point? This point is about when you use the time clause to refer to the future action. So you will keep this time clause in the present tense. However, the independent clause will be made into the future tense. Like I will quote here an example which will clear your concept. Now I say that Ali will turn off the lights when he leaves. So this is a combination of two clauses. One is independent, Ali will turn off the lights as he leaves, and as he leaves is the dependent clause, which is one of the categories of the adverbial clause. We call it time clause because this gives information with respect to time, that when he leaves. So see, I refer to future action, and one action that I have constructed in the present simple, which is when he leaves, and the other clause that is known as independent clause, that Ali will turn off the lights, that I have used it in the future. So we usually keep the time clause in the present tense to refer the future action. So now we'll get to have a bit of examples of all the conjunctions that I've already stated with respect to time conjunction or subordinating conjunction. Now the first sentence I would like to use here: when I get home, I will take my dinner. Here you see the dependent clause, when I get home. So the time I get home, I will take my dinner. So the clause which is when I get home, this is the time clause. I will take my dinner, this is an independent or main clause, and this combination is known as complex sentence. Now the second example I would like to quote here is that whenever you get a chance, do visit us. So whenever you get a chance, this is also referring to a time, that anytime you get a chance, you do visit us. So do visit us, this is an independent clause whereas on the other hand, whenever you get a chance, this is time clause. Now the third example I would like to quote here is that he came home after he finished his work. So he came home after he finished his work. So it is also the combination of two clauses, because two of the clauses comprise subject and verb. So he came home, this is an independent clause, whereas after he finished his work, this is the dependent one, and which we call it adverbial, and the type of adverbial clause is a time clause. Now the fourth example is, I will do these exercises until my friends come. So until my friends come, this is a time clause. Now next example I would like to quote here is that you should wash your hands before you eat your meal, right? So before you eat your dinner or before you eat your meal, you should wash your hands. So you should wash your hands is the independent clause, whereas before you eat your dinner or meal, that is the time clause. Now next example, as soon as, because these time conjunctions are different time conjunctions, so I'm going to give you an idea how to use these different time conjunctions in your sentence structure to structure this particular clause, which we call it time clause. So the next one is, as soon as I complete my degree, I will start my own business. So as soon as, the moment I finish my degree, I will start my own business. So the earlier clause is known as dependent, which starts from as soon as, it's a time conjunction, I finish my degree. So this clause is known as a time clause, and the later clause is I will start my own business. This is an independent clause. The next example is, while I was watching TV, my friend rang the doorbell. So my friend rang the doorbell, it is an independent. While I was watching TV, that is the dependent clause, which is time clause. The next example I would like to quote here, I will contact you once the time I receive an email from the organization. So this is the dependent clause or time clause, once I receive an email from the organization. The next example, the moment I hear the doorbell, I will open the door. So the moment I hear, this is in the present tense. Remember, all these time clauses that we have used, we usually refer to the future action, but we keep them in the present tense. So the moment I hear the doorbell, I will open the door. So the first clause is the dependent, the time clause, and the later clause, I will open the door, that is an independent. And the next example is, the day you graduate, your mom or your parents will be so happy about you. So the moment you graduate, this is also a time clause. Another example, once I pick him up, I will call you. So once I pick him up, this is also a dependent clause. And another example is, I will never do this again as long as I live. So till that moment, that action will not happen, right? So in such case, we use so long as or as long as. So I said a sentence that I will never do it as long as I live. So till the last moment of my life, I will not commit this crime, or I will not do this again. So these are the examples, and as long as I live is the type of time clause. So I hope that this video was informative with respect to time clause, and now you will be able to construct various clauses together to form your sentence, because in such clauses I have used these time clauses with an independent clause to structure the complex sentence, which we will inshallah separately learn about the concept of complex sentence, how to structure it. So if you have liked my video, watch and share it, and also subscribe to my channel for more informative videos. See you inshallah in the next video. Thank you for watching.